Would you like some good quality anime merch? Well, you can get that from our sponsor today, Beautiful Halo, link in the description. And on your next $49 plus order, get 5% off with the code MEME, and $99 plus order use code MEME for 10% off. Right before we begin this video, I just want to shout out my friend Hxmesh. Yes, he's my guy, and he just started a YouTube channel, and go subscribe to him, show him some love. He does Warzone videos. He just started, and his videos are actually kind of way better than mine. I started with 360p videos. He started with 1080p. Ways. Anywho, now if you guys can go subscribe to him, show him some love, I'd appreciate it a lot, and he would too. And anywho, let's get right into the video. Roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan Part 3 finale. And last time we left off with Sasuke still deciding to leave the village, and Saki actually finds Sakura on the ground, and she gets worried, so she actually wakes her up, and Sakura does everything. Of course, Saki and Sakura then go to the Hokage, which is now, Tsunade. And so here, of course, Naruto is actually on a mission with the Root. Yes, even though he left, he actually decided to help out Danzo for once again, because Danzo asked him for his help, and it was actually to find some intel about the Akatsuki and the Orochimaru. And of course, Naruto's on a long journey, not long, and he's been out for a few days. He's actually returning to the village as of right now. It'll take him another 2 days, but here's where he is. And of course, the Sasuke retrieval team was actually made and created. Well, created, and it's actually the same team except for Naruto. It's actually Saki. Here, the events go similar to the original, how Saki in the end is up against Kimimaru, and of course Lee comes out of nowhere to save the day and allows Saki to go get Sasuke. Of course, Saki used body flickers to get to Sasuke, but now Sasuke is now already stronger than Saki, and he's actually the strongest genin in the village other than Naruto. Naruto could really annihilate Sasuke even in Kazama 2 with ease. Literally a few shots to Sasuke's stomach, literally he could punch him once and Sasuke would be out of breath. But it is what it is now. Anywho, Naruto was actually returning to the village, and he was actually a day away, and Saki actually ended up just like Naruto, just at this time she never healed, so she was severely injured. And once Naruto actually returned to the village, he saw that there was a bit of panic between the higher ups, how the genin were actually found all injured, and of course Gaara and the other two Sand siblings came to help out the Leaf Shinobi. And his ways, and they returned to the village, and of course Saki is in the hospital. Naruto actually goes visit and asks what happened. He is told by Sakura what happened, but he wants a confirmation on how this happened to her. What did Sasuke do? And of course she told him everything, and Naruto's like, god damn it, if only I was there. And basically, of course, Saki then actually says it's fine and just smiles at Naruto and says that they will return Sasuke to them. Well, they will find Sasuke and return him to the village. But it is what it is. Now, of course, Jiraiya in the end actually goes off and actually finds Naruto and tells him that they should be going on a 2.5-year trip. And yeah, Naruto accepted this because he actually wanted to get stronger, and during this time Naruto has unlocked all the abilities of the Rinnegan and actually began his Rasen Shuriken training. Of course, he didn't get anywhere near the Rasen Shuriken, and he only was able to create a Winstar Rasengan, I'm pretty sure. And anywho, now Naruto returns to the village 2.5 years later, and of course the village has changed quite a bit, and Naruto is still pretty much really unknown, and he's still an introvert. And remember, he hasn't been in the village, and no one really cares about him except for, Kakashi, Sakura, and uh, Saki, and maybe Shikamaru and them lot. But it is what it is. Of course, Naruto wanted to train Shikamaru, but he never got the chance to. I remember, like I said last part, but it is what it is. Now, of course, Naruto returns, and Kakashi then, well, of course, goes to the Hokage's office, and the Hokage says, "You'll be testing your two students again," and basically Naruto's like, "Oh, I see." And of course, on the same day, Naruto actually meets Shikamaru, and basically he tells Shikamaru that they will still be training together soon. And Shikamaru is like, yeah, fine. And remember, Naruto's still friends with Gaara, so nothing with Gaara changes. Anywho, after this, now Shikamaru, well, I mean, sorry, Naruto and Saki and Sakura actually meet up, and they actually begin the bell test. Of course, Naruto is actually up against two healers, and Saki is actually a close range fighter. She's actually an old range fighter, like I said before, and she's a healer too, and she's actually Tsunade's best student right now, and she has the Freeze-One Sharingan. Of course, now, anywho. After this, of course, once the bell test begins, Saki and the Sakura actually blitz Naruto, and Naruto wasn't expecting them to be so fast. But remember, Naruto has been trained by both Itachi and Shisui, and he knows about how fast. He knows about body flicker and how he can actually make it into an S-rank technique, pretty much. Like, come on, guys. I know it's a really low rank technique, but how Shisui used it, it made literally 5 nations scared of him. And of course, Naruto actually uses it, just as Shisui did, and then actually teleports behind them. But Saki then looks back with a 3-to-1 Sharingan and tries to Genjutsu Naruto. Of course, Saki still not understanding that Naruto has a great dojutsu. Naruto then says, "You can't get me," and basically, as he says that, and then Naruto punches her. It was about to punch her in the guts, but of course, out of nowhere, Sakura came, and Naruto was actually off guard for a second there, and Sakura took this opportunity to actually punch Naruto in the face with a strong ass punch, and basically Naruto sent flying into a few trees and then into a wall, well, into a hill, or not a hill, like a little mountain, like structure, not structure, whatever I was saying. Anywho, of course, Naruto then stands up and wipes off the blood of his mouth, and basically he's there, interesting. And as he says that, Saki actually came out with the Chidori ready, and Naruto's like, "Do you really think you can beat me like that?" And then out of nowhere, Saki gets pushed back, and Naruto actually activated his Rinnegan and said "Almighty Push," and Saki was like, "Wait, what?" And on the floor, Naruto then started walking towards Sakura, but Saki then actually threw a kunai at Naruto's face, and Naruto actually caught it with 2 fingers and literally said, "Is that all you can do?" And then just throws the kunai away with his 2 fingers that he caught them with, and then now he was about to faint Sakura, but out of nowhere, Saki actually disappeared, and she was actually a clone, and the real Saki appears from the ground and actually was able to cut off Naruto's bells off of his belt. And basically Naruto was baffled, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And he actually turns off his Rinnegan, and Sakura was confused on what Naruto just used, and basically Naruto then just says that it's his dojutsu. He was given it he had it since birth, and he's never really shown it in a fight because he never really needed to. And this just shows the improvement of Yosaki and Sakura, and how that how much they've improved, because Naruto actually used the Rinnegan only once back when he was still a novice with it, and against them, but it was 3 of them, and it was in the smoke just to actually scare off Saki. And but of course now you have to use it publicly, and literally Sakura saw it, and he actually needed to use an ability, while a few years past, a few years back, he never really needed to. Anywho, now of course the next day Naruto hears about the news of Gaara, and so of Team 7 actually leaves, and here they have a 4-man team. Of course, Naruto is not really a Genin, he's actually a Jonin team leader assistant, even though he could be a Jonin team leader, for example, the team leader of Konohamaru squad. But of course, for now, he just wants to stay as an assistant because he really likes assisting Kakashi. Of course, Naruto, once they arrive at, the Sand Village, they heal Kankuro, and heals much faster, so they actually were able to save Gaara last second, right? And he had a smidge of Tail Beast Charcoal left, and Naruto then, that's enough. And basically, as he says that, he actually uses an almighty push, and he pushes back the two Akatsuki members and basically catches Gaara. Of course, Gaara still has near enough a third of Shikaku, but his way is, I did say a smidge, and that was just a I worded it wrong. But anywho, Naruto then glares at the two, and basically Deidara actually throws a few bombs at, Naruto, and takes Gaara away. But Naruto wouldn't allow it, and so he actually, grabs Deidara's foot and says, "Where do you think you're going?" And literally slams Deidara on his back, and Deidara actually lets go of Gaara, and basically Naruto takes Gaara and gives him, not her, gives him to Kakashi, and basically Naruto then is like, "You guys all go, I'll handle this one." And basically Saki's like, "I'll help you," and Sakura says, "Me too, I'll help you too." And Naruto's like, "If you say so." And Kakashi is like, "I should be helping you too." And basically Naruto's like, "It's fine, Kakashi sensei, we got this." And basically as he says that, Naruto then blitzes Deidara on the ground and basically uses a Rasengan to actually injure him, but Deidara was able to protect himself with this clay, and so he then stands up and uses a few bombs to actually back up next to Sasori, and Sasori from the get-go actually realizes that this his shell is not going to be enough for these three, and so he actually breaks out of his shell and is Sasori. Of course, right before Chiyo left, she saw Sasori and she decided to actually fight, and basically Naruto's like, "Okay, then I'll take on this one and you three take on that one." And of course Naruto was actually able to drag Deidara out of the cave, and while Kakashi was actually bringing back Gaara, he's like, "God damn it, I couldn't do anything to help them." But of course he trusts Naruto, and Naruto is more than capable enough to handle himself. Anywho, now wait 1 second. Sorry guys. Anywho, now Naruto and Deidara were outside, and Naruto says, "You're finished." And as he says that, basically he actually teleports in front of Deidara and pulls out a black rod from his clothes, and it's not actually from his hand or anything. He actually hides black rods in his clothes and basically stabs Deidara in the chest, and then basically Deidara's losing out chakra, and Naruto's like, "You're not done here." And basically then out of nowhere from his hand a laser actually appears, and Naruto was actually able to laser the hell out of Deidara. And Naruto doesn't really like using this path, but it's just a one-shot kill, and he wanted Deidara to die as soon as possible. And once he actually returned to the cave, Chiyo Sakura and Saki were actually done with Sasori, and Sasori actually still gave the information about Orochimaru and where they are going to meet. And yeah, after this, of course, a week passes. Once they return, they actually go off again on a mission, and this time Kakashi actually comes along, and it's just Kakashi, Naruto, Sakura, and Saki. And so of course here Naruto still gets pretty pissed, but he doesn't go into his Full Tails form, and he actually just tries to fight Orochimaru on his own. And Orochimaru was actually able to keep up with Naruto without the Rinnegan, but of course once Naruto actually activated the Rinnegan, Orochimaru was having a hard time since Naruto was almighty pushing him and then actually using his rods to actually stab him, and even though he takes them out immediately, he still loses a ton of chakra, so he decides to retreat. And yeah, here of course I forgot to mention Sai actually joined here. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about Sai because there's Saki and Naruto, but still. Anywho, after this, Sai actually follows them, and yeah, of course Sai still finds Sasuke, and Naruto looks at Sasuke, and Sasuke comes next to him and of course tries to get into his mind, but Naruto's mind is locked up for some reason, and basically Sasuke is like, interesting, you're pretty strong-minded, Naruto. And as he says this, Naruto actually punches him. And just saying, I'm pretty sure Sasuke had to use the Sharingan to get into Naruto's mind. And since Naruto has the Rinnegan, and uh, Sasuke never really understood why he couldn't get into it, but it's because of Naruto's Rinnegan, and it's a, well, higher leveled or stronger dojutsu. But his way is Sasuke still retreats with Orochimaru and Kabuto, and after this, of course, Naruto returns to the village pretty pissed off that he couldn't bring back Sasuke, and Sasuke was really saddened by this, but it is what it is. Anywho, after this, of course, they get the news about Asuma's death, and Naruto's pretty pissed. But of course, he actually goes to Shikamaru, and here Naruto actually trains Shikamaru for a week before actually heading off to find, the two Akatsuki members. And yes, a week has passed, and Shikamaru is actually a lot stronger now because Naruto has trained him, even though Naruto doesn't have much information about, the Naruto clan's Kekkei. I'm pretty sure it's a Kekkei or ability. I'm not sure what they call it, but his way is he doesn't have too much info about it, but he's studied about it, even though he doesn't understand it fully, especially because he can't use it. You can't really help him out, but he actually helped out, or helped, him with his taijutsu and his mid. Well, since he can fight long and mid range, it's fine. He only mostly trained him in taijutsu, and yeah, actually taught him the body flicker too. And so after this, Shikamaru and Team 10 and Yamato becomes their new team leader. Team 10 and Team 7 actually leave, and after this, of course, they find the two Akatsuki members, and of course, Team 10 this time takes on sorry, Team 10 actually takes on well, I was about to say sorcery. He done on their together this time as a team. Even Yamato helps, and Team 7 of course takes on with the with Sai as well. They take on Kakuzu, and they're able to destroy Kakuzu. Naruto actually never training in the Rasen Shuriken, wasn't able to use the Rasen Shuriken, but he used his Rinnegan. And after this, Naruto actually returned to the village, and for the next week he actually trained in the Rasen Shuriken, and he actually mastered it. I know this was a bit late, and after this, now Naruto, of course, having the Rasen Shuriken, actually trains with then actually hears the news about Orochimaru's death, and Sasuke actually killing Orochimaru, and Naruto's that he must have got much stronger throughout the years. And basically, yeah, of course he's gotten stronger, but it is what it is now. Of course, Naruto actually Sasuke still makes Team Heavy to actually go and find and kill Itachi, but of course here Sasuke actually wants to find Itachi too, and so Sasuke and Naruto actually go off on their own on a mission, and they find Itachi before Sasuke can. Sasuke can, sorry. Anywho, I said Sasuke can for a second there. Anywho, now after this, Itachi actually explains everything to Sasuke, and Sasuke cries on her knees, and basically Naruto consoles her. Even though Naruto's an introvert, here Naruto was really helpful to Sasuke, actually consoling her and everything. But it is what it is. Then Itachi explains that he's going to die anyway. That's why he wants to die at the hands of Sasuke. And Sasuke then explains that she can help him, but Itachi actually declines this and says that there's no point, and he'd rather die from his brother's hands than actually get healed by his sister to actually go through the pain of telling Sasuke. Anyway, he doesn't really want to tell Sasuke, but he actually Sasuke then tells him that he should, and then of course they leave. Naruto tells her that they should leave before the other dude comes back, because they did sneak around Kisame. Anywho, after this, Naruto and Sasuke actually left, and Itachi thought of telling Sasuke, but in the end actually went on with his plan and carried it out, and he died as usual. And of course, Sasuke finding out about Itachi's truth actually awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan. And just saying, Sasuke actually awakened her Mangekyo Sharingan throughout finding out, after finding out about Itachi's truth. And after this, now Naruto actually trains Sasuke in a bit with her, Mangekyo Sharingan, because how she doesn't know how to use it. Naruto has a dojutsu, well, the closest thing to a Mangekyo Sharingan, and basically, of course, Saki, every time she uses it, her eyes hurt. Unlike Naruto's just used to it. He doesn't even get hurt at all because Naruto doesn't lose vision as he uses the Rinnegan. Well, the Mangekyo Sharingan actually makes the charges the user and takes chakra, takes a vision as a payment. And after this, of course, Naruto tells Saki to never use it, and after this, Jiraiya still goes off on his own to find pain. And here, Jiraiya actually never mastered Sage Mode, but in the end, you know how at the end he actually had the chance to reverse summoning jutsu himself into the village. He didn't. Here he actually does, because he doesn't actually want to leave his godson behind, and so he reverse summoning jutsu himself to the village. And of course he gets healed by Tsunade herself, and Tsunade then asks what happened, and Jiraiya came back without an arm. And of course Jiraiya then told Naruto that he has to master Sage Mode, and so Naruto went off on his own to master Sage Mode. Of course, the Sage Mode training went as per normal, and once he returned, he actually found the village in pieces, and he saw Saki actually fighting Pain on her own. And right at the end, when he saw Saki getting annihilated by Pain, actually getting stabbed in the chest, Naruto actually goes, berserk, and he actually goes into his full tails from the get-go. Even though he's never gone to like 1 or 2 tails, he actually goes full tails from the get-go, and then just keeps going to a higher tail after basically annihilating each of the paths of pain. And now the only diva path remains, and Naruto's already in his 7th tail. He actually spawns the 8th tail, and basically Naruto is really close to actually spawning the ninth one and letting the Ninetales out. And basically, as he did this, and the Ninetales still hated Naruto, even though he had the Rinnegan and the Sage's 6 paths gave it himself. He still hated all humans, and so he actually decided to take over. But of course, the Diva path was Nagato uses the planetary devastation to trap the Ninetales, and Naruto was actually about to let it go. But as he was about to do it, he gets stopped by his father, Minato. And basically here Naruto realizes, this is the fourth Kage, and he asks who has the fourth Kage here. I thought he was dead. And basically the fourth actually explained everything. Minato explained about, the masked man, and that he's his father. And basically Naruto was really happy here, instead of actually kind of pissed and happy at the same time. He was happy that Minato, was his father, and he realized that he actually has a shot at becoming Hokage one day. But of course, that's not gonna happen, because this what if is kind of different. Anywho, now, I say that, but he probably might become Hokage in the end. But his way is, if I take this to Boruto, of course. But for now, it doesn't matter. Now, Naruto, of course. Naruto actually comes out of the planetary devastation, and he's in his Sage Mode. But here, he's actually using his Rinnegan with the Sage Mode. He has the Rinnegan with the pigment. The pigment in his eyes, and basically the Rinnegan in the middle has actually the toad eye instead of the normal pupil. And basically now, he has like the toad's the toad eye symbol, and basically the rings around it. So basically Naruto's little circle pupil actually became into that little square looking thing. Anywho, a rectangle looking thing, not square looking thing. Anywho, now, and Naruto actually, just Rasen Shuriken, the Diva Path, and the Diva Path, of course, used an almighty push to push it back, but Naruto dodges it, and the Rasen Shuriken actually was able to destroy, the planetary devastation, the meteorite, the little planet that the Nagato actually created, and then basically blitzed the Diva Path, because Naruto knows about, the weakness of the Rinnegan. And so, and just say, even another reason why Jiraiya actually survived that fight is because he actually had the intel on the Rinnegan from the get-go, and so he actually was able to reverse summoning jutsu back. He actually wanted to try to destroy Pain as fast as possible, but of course he got destroyed instead. After this, now Naruto still goes to Nagato, since a lot of people died in the village while he was away. He still gave the Takano Jutsu to Nagato, and everyone got revived, even Saki. Yes, Saki died there too. Yeah, she never used her Susan or anything, that's why. But after this, now Naruto, of course, returns to the village as a hero, and everyone loves Naruto. And Naruto, after this, smiles for another time again. He smiles again, but his way is now. After this, Naruto actually what? Oh, sorry. After this, they get the Leaf Village gets news about, the Akatsuki or Sasuke Uchiha capturing the Eight Tails, and of course Killer Bee actually was able to escape here, because Sasuke hasn't got an exponential boost or anything, but is what it is. Now, of course, they want a 5 Kage meeting. The right Kage actually wants a 5 Kage meeting, and so here Tsunade still went into a coma, so Danzo still goes. Anywho, Naruto still wants to go save Sasuke, and so does Saki, but Sakura actually, does the same thing, telling Naruto that she loves him, but of course, that's a lie. She's only doing that for, to buy time and whatever. And he Naruto then says, I know you're lying, but whatever. And basically after this, she tries to kill Sasuke after Sasuke killed Danzo, but she nearly got killed. She got saved by Kakashi, and then by, Sasuke this time instead of Naruto. Naruto actually came at Sasuke and just kicked him in the chest, and Sasuke did a backflip. Even while blind, was able to stand on his own 2 feet. And Naruto then said that if they fight, both of them are going to die, which is a complete freaking BS lie, because Naruto would annihilate Sasuke, especially because Sasuke is blind. But then Sasuke still gets, saved by Toby, and Toby still, Obito, of course, Naruto knowing that Obito is actually the masked man, and actually telling Kakashi and the rest that his mother Uchiha still. Naruto, of course, has a grudge against Toby because he is the reason why his parents died, but it is what it is. Now, after this, Naruto, of course, returns to the village, and the fourth Great Ninja War was actually declared for the Eight Tails and the Night Tails, and basically, the Raikage actually got the news that the Eight Tails was actually able to escape, and after this, Naruto and the Eight Tails were put together. The Shinobi Alliance was created, even though one of the Jinchuriki was still out there. The Akatsuki just wanted the 8 and 9 tails because they had most of this one tail, so they didn't really care. And so Gaara is still a platoon leader. Anywho, of course, Naruto still went off to actually fight the Nine Tails, and actually was able to beat the Nine Tails and take its chakra, and still meeting Akushin. Akushin actually still helping Naruto here, because Naruto wasn't aware of how strong the Nine Tails truly is, but it is what it is. Because he's only seen the Nine Tails fight once. He hasn't seen it because he was unconscious, but the only time he went into his Nine Tails form was against Pain, and that was the closest thing that Naruto got to actually getting the Nine Tails out. While other times he went into his One Tails, in the original he went into One Tails, Two Tails, Full Tails, and so there were multiple Naruto actually was aware of the Nine Tails' strength and how much hatred he has. Well, here he wasn't aware of it, but still, in the end, he actually was actually came to understand that the Nine Tails is hatred, literally pure hatred by his ways. Naruto then tells him that one day he'll come for his hatred too. Remember, Naruto's new goal is actually to stop the cycle of hatred, and since the root was Kando abolished, he didn't really need to help them anymore, and it is what it is. Now, after this, Naruto and Killer Bee still went into the war, and the events up to most of the events went similar, especially other than the fight against the tail beasts. That one went completely different, especially because Naruto had the Rinnegan here. He had a much easier time against the Full Tails, but in the end he still needed to link up with Kurama, and so he was able to link with Kurama and going to KCM2, and of course going into the Kurama avatar and annihilating all the other reanimated Jinchuriki and the tail beasts. Of course, Naruto got the power from the tail beasts, and he actually met one of the requirements of unlocking Ashura's chakra, you know what I mean, and basically then now he just needs to get the Sage of Six Vast powers. And anywho, now after this, Obito still reanimates, revives the 10 tails, and Naruto's fighting that, and of course Madara annihilates the 5 Kage and goes to help out Obito. Of course, Obito still begins his fight with Kakashi, and that one goes the same, and Obito becomes Naruto and the Shinobi Alliance get helped by the 4 Kage who got reanimated. Of course, Sasuke still meeting his brother and understanding everything why he did that. Of course, he actually comes to the war, and since he has the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, he actually gives the eyes to Saki, and Saki actually gives her own eyes to Sasuke, so they both have the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. And so Of course, they get healed by Sakura, and it is what it is. Now, Naruto, Saki, and Sasuke, and even Sakura were fighting in the war. And so Sasuke and Sakura actually fought together, and Naruto and Saki actually went into the tail beast Susanoo form thing, and they annihilated pretty much. And then Sasuke actually joined them, and so they had two Susanoo armors, and they had two katanas, and so it was much easier for them. And Saki actually has pretty much the same abilities as Sasuke with her Eternal Monkey Sharingan, especially because she doesn't really get the Rinnegan here. And here, of course, Madara gets reanimated by, Obito. Well, of course, Obito wasn't really trying to reanimate Madara. He was actually trying to reanimate the people that died in the war after getting changed by Naruto. But still, Zetsu actually came in the way and, of course, revived Madara. And Madara actually then was able to, take one of the Rinnegans and actually, use the Gedomazu to suck up the tail beasts. And after this, he actually became the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. Naruto still dies, Sasuke still dies, and Saki is the one to actually is the one to heal Naruto this time. It's how Sakura was taking care of Sasuke with, Kabuto, but still, Madara was causing rampage against, Might Guy, and of course Might Guy still had his time to shine, nearly killing Madara. But during this time, Naruto actually met the Sage of Six Fast, and basically the Sage is like, you've improved a lot, Naruto. And basically Naruto's like, so you're the one who gave me the Rinnegan. And of course the Sage of Six Fast, once he gave Naruto, the Ashura's power, and basically, the Rikudo Ascension. So basically, Six Fast Sage mode, Naruto actually awakened the Rinne Sharingan just like Sasuke. And Naruto's Rinne Sharingan ability was actually to go through dimensions just like Sasuke, but still he had a different ability. Like Sasuke had his teleportation, Naruto actually had the ability to become untangible. And of course here Kaguya still gets revived after, the infinite Tsukuyomi is casted. And here Sakura and Saki actually were the ones to get saved by Sasuke, same as Naruto, Kakashi, and Obito. And after this, they actually begin the fight against Kaguya. And of course, Obito still dies here, unfortunately. Naruto doesn't give the Rinnegan bargain as usual, but still, Obito dies for a good cause, and which pisses off Naruto. And basically, Naruto is like, you're dead now. And basically, then after this, of course, Kakashi actually gets both the Sharingan, and here I'll say that plot armor kicks in, and Kakashi is actually able to keep the two Sharingans. Well, of course, with no repercussions, and of course him having the perfect Susanoo. And of course they were fighting Kaguya, and as basically they were about to seal Kaguya away, Kaguya was actually able to push all of them away. And basically Naruto, or of course Sasuke, actually fell on the ground, and he was actually out of chakra by now. And basically Naruto then looks at all four of them, and then says, well, I guess this was a pretty good fight. You guys fought well, but I guess you guys have to go now. And basically Naruto actually whoops them away back to the real world. And Naruto looks at Kage and says, are you ready to die, you damned Otsutsuki? And as he says that, he actually blitzes Kaguya with his body flicker, and a little, flashback to how he used to train with the, Shisui, and Naruto respects Shisui with every single fiber of his being. And so he actually blitzes Kaguya, and also, amplifying his speed with boil release, and then uses lava and acid release together to create two different Rasen Shurikens, and basically throwing them both at Kaguya and killing her in the process. Yes, those two were so strong. And of course Naruto, having the Rinne Sharingan boost, was actually able to create an even stronger one. And so Kaguya got killed, and Naruto still got the curse mark. And basically Naruto returned to the real world after killing Kaguya. And of course Naruto, having all understanding of everything, he actually understands this is a karma scene and blah blah blah. After this, now Naruto of course still fights Sasuke, and Sasuke kind of gets annihilated here. Naruto doesn't lose an arm, same as Sasuke, because Naruto was actually able to destroy Sasuke before he could even do anything, especially because Naruto had the Rinne Sharingan, and he could activate and deactivate at any time, and also had the full 9 tools now. And also he had Six Fast Sage mode, and he could fly. He had all 9 this time he never really lost any Truth Seeker orbs, even against Sasuke, because he annihilated him so fast, and in the end they still did, you know, the right sign seal or whatever, and they, you know, they awoke everyone from, you know, the infinite to kill me. And of course that's where I'm gonna end off. I know this was only half an hour, but I'm feeling really ill, and I'm sorry guys, and I don't want to strain my body too much. I'm gonna go sleep right now. It is currently 11:57. I'm gonna go sleep now. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna take a test for you know, the virus, and hopefully I test negative, then I can actually return to school, continue my studies, and continue this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is growing faster than ever, and I want to thank you all. And if I do test positive, I might take a break out, or might not. I want to keep you know, posting videos, making your life a bit, you know, happier, since this virus thing is really destroying people's lives, to be honest. A lot of people are bored since the restrictions have been, you know, amplified, and all the things, you can't do things with your friends anymore, especially because it's cold now. All you can do is pretty much play online, which is it kind of gets repetitive. Even me and my friend Ratreet we've been playing every day, but still it's so repetitive. Sometimes the games we play are so BS in the first place. Some people walk through freaking walls. Yeah, if he's watching this, he'd understand, because frick me. Anywho, hope you enjoyed it. This was the King of Weebs there, and don't forget to subscribe to Hxmesh, my friend, Kazama, my friend, Ratreet, my friend, Miniman Wanted 3. Also follow my friend Shokyo. He's an amazing artist on Instagram. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and join my Discord server. In the links are in the description below. And don't forget to use code meme on your next $49 plus or purchase on Beautiful Halo. And if you're ordering $99 plus, you can get 10% off with the same code meme, MEME. And don't forget to use my link in the description so you can support the channel. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care, my ducklings. You're dismissed, and peace. And don't forget, stay safe.